Good evening. You're probably wondering, what are we doing in this dark space? Well, same thing goes for paranormal activity. Enough people wonder, where do they come from? What sort of mischiefs do they cause up? Is it even mischief at all? Do they have a purpose of being lagged behind? A lot of different circumstances pinpoint the idea that maybe these are spirits that have been disturbed because someone had maybe disturbed some ancient burial grounds, or maybe perhaps it was because someone got murdered and they are not allowed to rest peacefully. They are there and their spirits remain to haunt said residents. This first video, I will be talking to you about the legend of Dead Man Brooks. Dead Man Brooks was a man who pretty much was a native of Wahkiakum County over in Cathlamet. The native of Washington, in Cathlamet, Washington, over in Wahkiakum County, where he was pretty much charged with killing his family for unknown circumstances. As much research as I have done, there was no data compiled as far as how serious the charges were, just the fact that he murdered his family out of cold blood, and he was sentenced for life to spend the rest of his days in Wahkiakum County. It's hard to imagine what would drive anyone to want to murder their family, let alone knowing the consequences of their actions. There was no data specifically saying, what's this man's background, what's this man's, if he has any relatives, if he has a long, mental health history, which, kind of goes into some of these murder mystery movies that you see. And it goes into the idea that people, like their families, been murdered out of cold blood. This man who was a known killer pretty much just spent a lot of his time in Wahkiakum County and murdered his family. Legend has it that essentially he went in, murdered his family, got sentenced for life for Wahkiakum County, and his spirits remain the Wahkiakum County courthouse to this very day.
All right, that was go. Go. Anytime.
There was no history regarding his mental health status or what really caused him to do it. And I'm referring to the fact that Dead Man Brooks was known for murdering his family out of cold blood. There was no history recollection as far as why he did what he did. There was no history regarding mental health status, how long he's been a resident of Wahkiakum County, as far as what area did he live in. What is really known is that the legend of Dead Man Brooks is essentially he's a man who occupies the third floor of the Wahkiakum County Courthouse in Cathlamet, Washington. Essentially, he was a man that was going to be seeking the rest of his days in jail and captivity after they found him guilty of murdering his family in cold blood. And legend has it that my dad works at the Wahkiakum County Courthouse.
Stop.
My dad works at the Wahkiakum County Courthouse. And according to legend, that essentially Dead Man Brooks, pretty much you see his shadow. You feel cold spots when you don't least expect it. And even though that cops have kind of been playing a dirty joke over these few years at making the prisoners think that there's always going to be someone lurking in the prison shadows, that someone, whenever there's chains rattling or footsteps upstairs, even though it's the janitor, make believe it is Dead Man Brooks. The legend is real. I used to be a janitor at that same Wahkiakum County Courthouse, and it always gave me the heebie-jeebies having to be there cleaning on the third floor where his spirit currently is rumored to be at. And cleaning after Dead Man Brooks, it's, I always get worried about, the nights on Friday nights I clean up at 1 in the morning when most ghosts are said to be active between 2 and 3 in the morning. There is definitely a real feeling with Dead Man Brooks up on that 3rd floor. And dispatchers that I've known a few have really claimed that they have seen his spirit and shadow walking down the stairs, and before they see him come into actual physical contact or, they can physically see him or his shadow, that they feel a cold spot over their opposite shoulder, and they end up looking the other way and they end up missing his cold shoulder. And no one knows more mystery behind Dead Man Brooks except for the legend that he haunts the courthouse in Wahkiakum County. I will see you next time.